We're gonna make up for all of it right now. You're gonna
and then after, way back down.
no, you just push the button right here. You go down there, you run through these, and you push that, and you push that one, and do those. Which team's first?
We will do IMI OLA first. They're on the far side.
Yep.
So you can start far and work back to near.
Start.
Yep, we're streaming. Okay. Woohoo!
I got it.
Woohoo! What an athlete. There will be a break because I'll say coach, manager, stuff like that. Okay, can we start off with a quick shot of Victoria and I and pull this down? So yeah, VLA logo, and then unmute us. Nice. Nice. And then I might have to realign that. Nice.
Nice.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, welcome. It's been a crazy day of volleyball, and we are here at the last match of the night, a public, live on all of the internet. It's 11 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, 8 p.m. here in Southern California. My name is Rob St. Clair. This is Victoria Dennis, and this is the 2022 VLA West Division Cup. This match will be really fun. SoCal Rukkus against Hawaii's IMI OLA, but it is not that simple because these two teams are literally under the exact same management. They are
Correct.
very closely related.
Yep.
They practice together, they train together, they travel together, and now they're playing in an elimination match against one another.
I mean, they wouldn't have written it any other way, Rob. Clearly.
The trash talking will be awesome.
Yes.
The level of play will be great because now we are at the elimination point of this tournament. And it is time to meet the team. So we'll get the starting lineups announced here in the house. We'll be right back for first serve in just a moment. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, it is bracket time. The quarterfinals, the elimination stage from the 2022 VLA West Division Cup. This is Hawaii's IMI OLA against Southern California's Rukkus. To introduce the teams, first on the far side of your screen in red, Hawaii's IMI OLA, the starting lineups. A 6'4" setter from Erskine University, #1, David Grandy. A 6'8" middle blocker from Missouri Baptist University, #4, Race Munger. A 6'2" outside hitter from Long Beach State University, #5, Ethan Siegfried. A 5'10" libero from Cal State Northridge, #6, CJ Suarez. A 6'7" middle blocker from Grand Canyon University, #9, Connor Doherty. A A 6'5" opposite from Irvine Valley College, number 21, Kyle Radecki. And a 6'7" outside hitter from Long Beach State University, number 22, Serge Nadazdin. IMI OLA is coached by Mike Rogers, assisted by Shelly Anderson and Sam Rogers. And now for Southern California's Rukkus, a 6'5" opposite from Pepperdine University, number 1, Michael Wexter. A 6'5" outside hitter from the University of Hawaii, number 2, James Anastasiades. A 6'5" setter from Brigham Young University, number 8, Joe Kawiakamoa. A 6'7" middle blocker from Utah Valley University, number 14, Mark Olson. A 6'7" middle blocker from Concordia University, Irvine, number 9, Mark Mitrakos. A 5'11" libero from the University of Hawaii, number 21, Garrett Como. And a 6'7" outside hitter from Long Beach State University, number 55, Eric Ensing. Rukkus are coached by Stefan Brule, assisted by Madeline Bustos and Tatum Vetter, and both teams are managed by Christy Yanamura. Our up official is Celestia Ropati, our down official is Kayla Long. First serve coming up. I love doing that. And yep, turns out their jersey numbers are wrong too. That's okay. This will be fun, ladies and gentlemen. You can already see from the camaraderie here and the handshake lines, these guys know each other very, very well. IMI OLA will be on the far side of your screen in red, Rukkus on the near side of your screen in black. Do or die volleyball from here on out for the rest of this weekend from the 2021 West Division Cup.
Rob, I would say...
2022, excuse me.
Absolutely. I would say morale is high on both sides. You know, that afternoon lull set in, but then everyone just had their extra espresso shot. We got a pep session, just fired up and ready to go for this elimination match.
We even got to play some short court in the break. It was great. We're all feeling energized.
The heart rate got elevated, and we are focused and ready to go.
And so are these two teams. So Rukkus so far today, first thing in the morning, they went down 2-0 against the 6-3-0 Slunkers. Then they put in some of their starters off the bench, came back and won that match in 5. They then played San Francisco Sport Connection, a very good match that we did earlier today. They won that match in 4, so perfect so far. Rukkus holds the number 3 seed in the bracket. IMI OLA, conversely, the number 6 seed in the bracket, made their VLA debut this morning, beating the tall ones of Northern California 3-0. They then lost to the number 1 seed overall, the SoCal Rising Tide, also 3-0. So it'll be Joe Kawiakamoa serving for Rukkus on the near side of your screen. Last year's VLA Cup MVP at the setter position, and we are underway. And that is a net violation on the follow-through by Kyle Radecki. That would have been incredible.
That would have been a really awesome first ball side out.
Flying. Absolute, could have jumped over the net if he had wanted to. He definitely wanted it, and I think both of these teams do. I'm excited to hear the chirping between the net. That'll be very fun. Rukkus on the board first. Radecki again. This time stuff blocked by Wexter and Mitrakos.
Setter number 1, Grandy, with the tempo bump set.
Grandy is a very fun player to watch. Number 1 in red, David Grandy, and setter out of Erskine. Kind of a free-flowing, improvisatory, I don't know if that's a word. He likes to improvise. That's a really good delivery right there. But behind all that creativity is a really good set of hands, and he finds his middle attacker there, Connor Doherty. Number 9 in red out of Grand Canyon, and IMI OLA is on the board.
Rob, for you, what are your keys of the game for Rukkus to take this match?
Rukkus is a team that feeds entirely off of their own energy because of how talented they are top to bottom. They think, and for good reason, that they can coast and beat teams. And this is not an opportunity where that's possible, especially this is both of these teams' third best-of-5 match of the day, which is crazy. The depth, the endurance, and your ability to manufacture your own energy is really going to be tested here. So they can't take this team for granted, especially with how well they know each other. That rattles through the block. Confusing play there. Free ball opportunity here for IMI OLA, but not handled well at all. And Rukkus with a, I don't know, kind of confusing point on serve right there, although a good start at 4-serving-1.
And for IMI OLA, how do you think their offense needs to be run to beat Rukkus?
First of all, it needs to start with passing the ball extremely well. As most of the time it often does in high-level volleyball, but Ethan Siegfried is the prototypical, like, perfect L2 character, like at that second outside spot, number 5 in red, won a national championship with Long Beach State. He's great for that. CJ Suarez, one of the best liberos in the league. And then Serge Nadazin can be the hammer on the outside. So they have high ball scoring ability with Kyle Radecki as well. So if they can stay loosely in system and not get scared of a very good blocking Rukkus team, their offense I have no concerns about hanging around in this one. So teams trading a couple service errors. Here's Mark Matrakos, who's been very, very good in this tournament so far today. You had a chance to interview him after the win over Sport Connects. What do you have to say about that one?
I did. Well, I just congratulated him on his discipline at the net and his presence as a middle blocker, working so hard in transition to get up for his team and also executing, putting the balls away. I asked him what it was like on the court with his team, and he said, you know what, it's fun and we feel comfortable. And he said that this is a good team and I want to live up to these guys. I want to come and bring my A game because this is a A-game team.
Well said. This is an A-game team. The SoCal's Rukkus, the reigning 2021 VLA Cup champions. They traveled all the way to Indiana and won that tournament last year from VLA Tier 2, where both of these teams still compete. Good block touch there. What a dig by Como. Unbelievable scramble. Still kept alive. This would be an all-time point one. Kauyakamoa deep and right in the perfect pineapple corner. Oh my goodness, Garrett Como. Kamizarek, I believe, his full last name, nicknamed Como. One of the very best liberos you will ever see out of the University of Hawaii right there, number 21 in red for Rukkus, and he completely made that play. That was unbelievable. You just don't see people dig those balls. Radecki restoring some order, and a huge pickup for IMI OLA this weekend that will be a workhorse for them offensively, number 21 in red, Kyle Radecki. Opposite out of Irvine Valley College in the JUCO scene here in SoCal. A big physical high flyer with a very good arm. If he can be mostly efficient at that right side spot, IMI OLA's got a great chance. That ball way too easy for Como and Singh. It's slowed down by the block of Grandy. But then unfortunately sent out of bounds by Siegfried a couple points after I praised his ball control ability. That was a makeable play there.
We can talk about ball control and discipline on the court with your movements, but with these teams, they seem to pull certain funky things out of their hat. Like, for example, 2 plays ago, that jumbo set to the back corner. What a rip down the sideline.
Eric Ensing, that is an absolute laser beam, and you see Ethan Siegfried his feet are still planted where they were before that serve even happened, and for good reason. Nobody's touching that ball. That was nasty. So if you've heard the name Ensing before, it might be because you happened to watch the Olympics over the summer. Eric's younger brother Kyle was the backup opposite on the United States men's team that traveled to Tokyo. Both Ensing brothers played at Long Beach State here in Southern California. Here's a late pickup for IMI OLA, Race Munger out of Missouri Baptist. Not a place you'd expect to be a volleyball hotbed, but Munger a good size, 6'8", wearing number 4 in red. Late pickup to bolster IMI OLA's size in the middle. Speaking of middles, Mark Olson here with one of the most unique serves you'll see in the league this season. And right on cue. Oh, that ball. Okay. In is the call, and I agree with that call.
Funky curve ball. It's almost
so
like he hits it with his
weird.
knuckles.
Yeah. It's kind of a hybrid where he tosses it with 2 hands and no spin, and then hits it with I don't even know what part of his hand, but you're right, Victoria. It's the strangest spin, and when he's on, it's vicious. That's a much better read by Suarez there. Smart tip by Siegfried, but a really good read by Matrakos. But Kawiakamoa initiates the joust, and he's thrown back to the floor by Connor Doherty.
Pass just a little too tight there, giving the point to IMI OLA here.
We've seen a couple
11.
free
6
balls,
serving
6 serving 11. We've seen a couple free balls handled a little bit too tight for the setters, and Kawiakamoa, one of the best. See right on cue, front court, straight down center dump on 2. But if you would rather pass the ball on a free ball to 4 feet off the net than right on top of the plane, you know?
Sure, and as he goes back to serve, let's talk about him as an offensive player,
Yes.
not just a setter, but a big presence at the net, making IMI OLA's defense really stay on him as a threat. Dug by Komisarek.
Jammed through the block and down by Michael Wexler. And just another play that Rukkus scores on serve that is kick-started by a Garrett Como dig. I mean, stop me if you've heard that one before. We'll be saying that a lot throughout this match. But that's a great point to bring up about Kawiakamoa offensively, because he spent the last 2 or 3 years almost exclusively as an outside hitter, playing mostly for the Phoenix Ascension here in the VLA. So back to his natural setting position where he spent most of his professional career, both at BYU and in A1 Italy. Big time block there from Connor Doherty.
But he's just an all-around volleyball player.
Exactly.
He has the volleyball IQ. He's the quarterback on the court as a setter, but then he is also an offensive dynamite force at the net.
Hugely so. And yeah, he's been interesting to hear from him about how that's a bomb out of the middle by Matrakos. But talking to Joe, I actually interviewed him on a podcast a couple years ago where he was talking to me about how his setting experience informs his outside hitter play and then vice versa. It's just a really unique set of skills that he has, and has a very good claim to the best setter in all the VLA, even though Rukkus is playing in Tier 2. I would not put that past him at all. Here's Anastasiades, one of the best servers in the gym this weekend, but right on cue, the classic commentator's curse. 8 serving 14. Connor Doherty, when he's on, actually has a very good float serve as well. You can see how far up in the court the Rukkus passers are trying to hand pass this ball. Matrakos again, this time missed it out of bounds. No, it is deflected off the shoulder of the defender, I think.
So Rob, even though Rukkus won the VLA Cup last year, can you explain to everyone why they're still in Tier 2 as compared to Tier 1?
So yeah, the Tier 2 promotion criteria, now that the league has grown to where it is, have just been put into place this year. And so that ball somehow squeezed through the block by Radecki. But yeah, so Rukkus played last year. They played in a couple events and accumulated some points. But the criteria that the league has set towards eventual promotion that carries over year has just come into effect this season. So Rukkus well on their way to getting promoted if they're interested in taking that spot. And IMI OLA, conversely, looking towards the same thing, but this is their first tournament in their team's history, so they've got a little bit of catching up to do. Beating Rukkus head-to-head in this match would certainly help.
Rukkus leads 15-10. IMI OLA, I'm fully confident that they can still come back in this first set.
Oh, sure. They're still, even as well as they know each other, we've talked that up. Wow, what a rip by Radecki.
Just like that, on cue. He heard me from all the way over here.
Oh, sure. They can still come back. Boom, immediate, 70-mile-an-hour service ace. Yeah, great rip there from Radecki. Yeah, even
You're
though
welcome, Radecki.
That's right. Even though these two teams know each other so well, I think they are feeling each other out a little bit because there are some humor and a lot of back and forth during warm-ups, but I feel like they've started to lock in. That's 2 aces in a row. That ball into the ceiling and immediately out of bounds. So I think even as well as they know each other, they train together, they're part of the same management system. I think the stakes of this tournament and this quarterfinal match, where if you lose, you're done. You can't win this tournament even going into Championship Sunday. I think the stakes are starting to set in, and these two teams, you can tell they're already taking it more seriously than about 10 minutes ago. That could be 3 in a row. Yes, it is. Unbelievable. Kyle Radecki. What a run. And he's doing it in all different ways from the service line. Targeting different guys, going at seams, just lighten up passers so they can't keep it underneath the ceiling, and Rukkus needs a timeout here.
And that's how IMI OLA is going to keep themselves into this game, this match, at the service line, deflating Rukkus's serve receive. And really, when you're in serve receive and you're not passing the ball, it's a little bit frustrating. And it starts with a pass, when a server goes on a good service run like that, I mean, you have to really buckle down and just focus on one thing, and that's pass.
That's right. And Rukkus showed very, very few weaknesses, both today so far and last season. However, not that they're weak out of system, they are stoppable, as most teams are. If you can get them out of system and your block and defense are well enough organized, which IMI OLA certainly is, with enough size and some unbelievable defenders, if they can apply enough service pressure, they totally have a chance to kickstart their own transition offense. And a good timeout there from Rukkus. Good for Radecki to continue to go after it, but just short that time.
So for those of you who don't know, when a server does go on a service run, a lot of the times coaches will call timeouts to break that streak.
Like icing the server, so to speak.
Correct.
Similar to a field goal kicker in football. And you can debate, that's a beautiful rip by Munger in the middle. And you can debate all day long whether that actually works. In really any sport, like in football, does calling a timeout right before a field goal affect the kicker? It's difficult to say. But
it depends on the athlete, right?
That's a great point. And I think the same goes for volleyball for servers, because so many servers, especially jump spinners, really create their own momentum from the way that they serve. And some of them are just better out of timeouts and not letting themselves get slowed down than others. Speaking of out-of-system scoring ability, to go back to that point from a couple minutes ago, Eric Ensing there against a triple block, cleanly to the floor. That is a great sign for Rukkus out of system.
Yeah, being an outside hitter myself, you get a lot of those nice high out of system, not the prettiest or the most glamorous sets, but hey, that was a top level play. High swing, deep to the corner.
Wow.
Great put away.
We've talked about Kauai Akamoa as an offensive force, and when you have to respect a front court setter like that, good luck slowing them down. Rukkus back up by 4, 18 serving 14 here in this first set of this best 3 out of 5 set match to wrap up the day here at the VLA West Division Cup. Siegfried chisels down the line, did not get the block touch off the hands, although IMI OLA begging for it. Perhaps our first little bit of controversy, as Coach Mike Rogers is not pleased about that no call. And IMI OLA are going to need a timeout to respond. They had a heck of a run with that Radecki serve, but Rukkus, after their own timeout, showing some good mental fortitude, bringing it right back, getting the lead back to where it was before.
Yeah, I think they just need to settle in. As we could see here, the momentum can really go any way. It's so early in the game still.
Right. It is early in the game, but it's not early in the day. These two teams have been here for a long time. We've been here for a long time. There's been a lot of volleyball played. And this tournament will definitely become a test of endurance. Both of these teams are deep. You can see their rosters. Their full rosters on the website, by the way. Link in the description if you want to read more about these guys. But they've both got, I think, 12 at least, if not more. And that is such a luxury as you're playing 3 best of 5s in a day.
Right, Rob. I want to touch on what you said, endurance. It's being able to just focus on the task at hand, right? One step at a time. Not, oh, I have to score right now. It's, no, I need to get my feet to the ball. I need to have my platform out early and ready. The step-by-step little things for the big picture.
Well said.
And that'll help you with that endurance, taking it one step at a time.
Service substituted in number 2, Chris Chappelle, back up opposite. I believe he's got a filthy left hand, and yes, he does. Of course, handled perfectly by Como, and then hit out of bounds by Olsen, cross body. I think that hit the tape, but not any IMI OLA defenders. So nice choice there from Coach Mike Rogers of IMI OLA, bringing in the service sub off the bench. Chappelle, number 2 in red, out of Quincy University in Namiva. But Como, not the guy you want to serve. Let's see if he pulls it across to Anastasiadis. No, that's actually a really good serve, even on Como. However, Chappelle can't quite hang in there in position 5 with that Anastasiadis bomb. And it was funny, we talked to James earlier. He stopped by our table and said, like, he kind of prefers high balls on the net compared to fast balls in system. I don't know if I've ever heard an outside hitter say that in my life.
Hey, to each their own.
Oh my goodness. And if Kauai Akamoa wasn't well-rounded enough, that's a setter helping from the right side, blocking against the middle.
Can he do it all, or can he do it all? I don't know.
21 serving 16.
going back to the in-system setting as compared to the high out-of-system setting, I could see how he would say he prefers that just because he has enough time to get up, reach high over the block, or use the hands in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. The benefit of waiting is you have more time to see what the block is doing. And if you can get to the ball in rhythm, high point it with your, like the max reach or arm swing, and James is a guy with an unbelievable arm, so
it's a little
made
bit
sense
easy.
to me.
Exactly. It's easy to feel tight or stuck or have a low elbow when you run a quick offense because the set never lets you really
extend.
Extend.
Ooh, a rare missed connection. No, that's got to be 4 contacts. I think it is only right that IMI OLA takes that point. I think that point should have ended long before that. But this all of a sudden got kind of interesting. 19 serving 21. Rukkus got some work to do here to get out of rotation 6. Wow, crushed down the line by Anastasiades off the shoulder of Grandy and out of play. Just what the doctor ordered for a first ball side out.
He loves that line. He's been hitting it all day, and I would not say stop.
Agreed.
Keeps, if it ain't broke.
And an interesting timeout. I actually agree with this timeout. I mean, it's the late stages of a close set. And I mean, it's not like they just gave up a point on serve, but they have a little comeback to make, talking about IMI OLA here, and they're going to call timeout to talk it over. That's high-level choice. I like that. I think teams should be a little quicker to call timeouts in situations like this.
Definitely, and use them to your advantage. They're not always to stop a service run or when you get down. You know, when you're in a close game and you want to bring the team in and make sure that you're running the right offensive play and defensive play, utilize your timeouts.
Agreed. You've got 2. And if you don't use them, you lose them. So you might as well use them. Huge point right here. IMI OLA gotta have this out of this timeout. Rotation 1 receive against Kawiakamoa. Oh, and a missed connection on the left side. That ball set very fast.
And that's what's going to make the difference between these two teams are those kind of, unforced errors.
Yes.
I don't want to say mindless plays, but
that's the play that you expect a team at this high of a level to execute.
Absolutely.
For sure. That is an outstanding deep swing by Ethan Siegfried on the right side. That's a 6'2" kid flying over some big blockers. But giving up that point on serve previously could end up being a death blow here for IMI OLA. Rukkus leads 23-20 and can side out twice and get on the board here in this quarterfinal match. Anastasiades with a fortunate deflection through the block of Nadazhdin and down. And that will bring up set point. 24-20. And if there's one guy that I could see ripping an ace to win a set, it might be this guy. Let's see if he proves me right. Good pass there by Siegfried. Another underset ball, that time to the middle. Out of system swing coming here. Nadazhdin blocked and covered. Tight ball. Radecki wins the joust. Another joust, this time won by Mark Matrakos, and that is it. Wow, some muscles being flexed up at the net in that play. 2 straight jousts. And that is the way that Rukkus gets on the board. 25-20, they've taken the first set. Teams will change sides. And there is lots more volleyball coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. Already some pretty good action, and we're not going to stop here.
Yeah, I expect IMI OLA to come out all cylinders firing here. It never really felt like they were down by much in that game. It was going point for point on both sides.
Right.
I thought their
Even
serve and pass game was great.
Agreed. When they were down 3 or 4 or even 5 points, the momentum didn't feel that way.
Sure.
And if you're IMI OLA, that's a good sign. You didn't.
But it does come down to those mindless, unforced errors, and especially at this level, for me, that's unacceptable. I think you need to be crisp. This is game time. I know we're all human and mistakes happen, but I have a high standard for these teams, as we all do.
Yes, absolutely. So we talked about these teams having deep benches. We'll see if they choose to go to them. Either of them in this set. And just to go over the tournament format really quickly while we have a minute, this is the quarterfinals. So pools are wrapped up. All the pool results are on the website and on our Instagram. Rukkus winning Pool C, IMI OLA second place in Pool A. And from here on out, it's a straight single elimination 10-team bracket. So the play-in matches have concluded, and 2 quarterfinals in action right now. We've got New York Pride against San Francisco Sport Connects on the other court, that being streamed right now as well for members only. This match here, IMI OLA against Rukkus, also in the quarterfinals. The other 2 quarterfinals tomorrow morning will be the Rising Tide against the West Coast Brigade, and also SoCal battle. And then the Phoenix Ascension, I believe, against the 630 Slunkers from suburban Chicago will be the last quarterfinal matchup. So do or die volleyball from here on out. It starts with this match, and I think both teams know it. And yes, we do have a substitution, a new setter for IMI OLA, number 7 in red, Jeff Schmitz. Set first briefly at Ball State in the MIVA, then transferred to UC Irvine, where he's been here in California ever since. St. Louis native, really good set of hands on Schmitz as well. Wexter able to keep that one in play. First opportunity in the free ball situation. What a dig by Como. Radecki slowed down by the block. And as Anastasiadis exploits a significant seam. And if you're IMI OLA, you have a free ball opportunity against a team like Rukkus, you just gotta have those. I'm totally with you, Victoria. Like, little details like that, you've just got to put away at this high of a level.
Yeah, the little things add up, absolutely.
Ball set way inside for Siegfried. Transition opportunity here. Conversely, way outside to Wexter, and that ball into the antenna on the roll shot. So not super clean offense here to start out set number 2.
IMI OLA back to serve.
Oh, beautiful location by Siegfried there on Anastasiadis in position 1. Good block touch kept alive by Suarez. Nadazhdin, unbelievable Como again, but his teammates had the best seats in the house on that play, and none of them were there to make the follow-up contact. Come on, if your libero's putting his body on the line like that, you got to keep him alive, huh?
Yeah, Garrett Komisarek, he reacts very quickly to the ball and will throw his body around anywhere to get that ball up.
That ball just barely out of bounds down the sideline, crushed by Anastasiadis, but I do think that's the right call, that it missed the sideline.
For me, it's kind of funny that his teammates looked at him, or were surprised that he even got that. I mean, you should come down and expect the ball to be dug.
It's like they haven't played with the kid for long enough.
Right. I mean, Como being a captain at University of Hawaii and training in that program, I think they should expect that. And we have
little controversy here. I thought that ball was played into the net by Nadazhdin and into the antenna. But the play went on, and it was fished out of the net and eventually won by IMI OLA. So Rukkus not happy about that call, and a very good start for the Hawaiians after dropping that first set. Maybe a little ball never lies example right there with Siegfried missing that serve short.
Great pass for IMI OLA, high off the block. Back again. Love that setter feeding his hitter 2 times in a row.
Absolutely.
As a hitter myself, if I get blocked, set me again.
Yep. Repeat setters. Every hitter loves them.
Yep.
It's just the best.
Yep.
And it's
Give
a
me
part
another
of,
chance.
Right. It's an aspect of a setter that'll show up in scouting reports sometimes. If a setter is really prone to go right back to a hitter like that, some teams will scout that. That's useful information. Good block touch there by Nadazhdin. Out of sorts again. Good read by Doherty defensively. Nadazhdin's got to have this sharp cross court, and he missed it out of bounds. Suarez for IMI OLA wants a touch, but I don't think he's going to get one. Oh, good pass by Nadazda. I do think that ball was going inbounds. What a set by Schmitz! Outstanding play by number 7 in red, getting 2 hands on that ball, and I think he pulled both the blockers. And Nadazda denting our brand new floorboards here at the Ames Sportsplex. That was awesome.
As he flexes across the net.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's what I want to see from these two teams. The trash talk is fun. Volleyball needs more of that.
We love good banter.
Oh my goodness, what a read! Wow, we've seen Mark Olson run that play before on the VLA stage for years with both Rukkus and the previous years with the Phoenix Ascension. He runs totally along the net and jumps off with 2 feet. Fools most blockers because they don't see him coming. Grace Munger there, not fooled. Huge block. Oh, he almost had another one too. And there's another repeat set, just like we were just talking about. IMI OLA leads 7-3 here in the second set. 7-4, excuse me. And by the way, for those wondering, IMI OLA is a Hawaiian term meaning to seek and pursue one's highest and best life. So I learned something today about that.
That's great. That's a great fun fact.
Yeah, it's excellent. They're also seeking their highest form of volleyball right here. That ball off the head.
The dome, going long.
I mean, if you're 6'8", you jump pretty well. You get your chest above the net. You're probably going to take some balls to the forehead. It's just it's what you sign up for. Wexter continuing with the jump float serve. He's a very dangerous jump spinner. Siegfried keeps that ball in play outside the antenna. Wexter out of the back row. What a dig by Suarez. Siegfried chisels through a small seam in the block. And that ball didn't come out super clean out of Schmidt's hands, but both teams are on the same page about the fact that we are letting pretty much everything go, trying to minimize the whistle being blown, and I totally agree with that. So it's being called both ways. So we play on. More volleyball is better. Me coming from the stand with the AVP, this is just absolutely night and day for me. I've seen a number of very questionable doubles. Oh, what a shot! Serge Nadazda, that was as well of a disguised roll shot as you will ever see. IMI OLA, their block right now. Their block and their transition offense, their side-out offense looks a little bit better, and Jeff Schmitz coming into the setter position has really turned this offense around. I really like what I'm seeing. They're turning up the volume on their side of the net. Seems to be they're carrying an ace serve again. That's Radecki's 4th of the match already. And just like that, they're up by 5. IMI OLA 10, serving 5. Really like a mirror of what we saw in set 1. Do you agree? Like Rukkus got out to a lead very similar to this, and Rukkus now calling timeout. It's just pretty classic volleyball, Rob. Yes, it's the perfect momentum shift. Yes, it's so textbook. It's such a roller coaster, such a back and forth. It's what we love about the game. It's such a momentum-based game. Absolutely, but it's how can you as a team, and we stated this earlier, you can practice all you want, but until you get into real-time matches and real-time games, you don't know how your team is going to face adversity like this. And it's being able to be present in these moments and really reflect within and talk within your teammates, and have that open dialogue on the court. You know, how can we react? How can we settle down and get ourselves back into this match? Oh, sure, yeah. The conversations and the communication between these two teams in particular has always impressed me as being very, very good. And so I'm sure the dialogue is flying in the Rukkus huddle right now. And I like this timeout from Coach Stefan Brule as well, because like Radecki went on that run in the first set where he had 3 aces in a row. They called timeout, he missed one immediately. This time, he rips an ace. They call timeout after the first one, hoping for the same result. Let's see if he can keep this ball in play. He can! Oh, maybe not. That was really close. Yep. I thought that might have caught a piece of the sideline, but Coach Stefan Brule of Rukkus is 2 for 2 on icing Radecki with the timeouts. You know coaches are proud of when they get a coach's point. Oh, absolutely. It's on the stat sheet. 100%. Every coach is proud of those. Here's Ensing. That is a vicious serve handled so well by Siegfried. Como retreats to play the free ball, crushed by Mark Olsen. Look
Great
how
play.
early he was up in the air for that.
Yep. He was up waiting for that ball with a cup of coffee saying, set me.
Good morning, I've had my breakfast, I'm ready to pound this ball to the floor.
Exactly. Finding that tee on the 10-foot line there.
Beautiful pass by Suarez.
Good
Good block touch there by Olsen to slow it down. Suarez into the ceiling, unfortunately. He was in exactly the right spot, but couldn't absorb enough of the heat. And that swing of Anastasiadis to keep it out of the ceiling. And international rules this weekend and really all season in the VLA, unless we get into a gym with extremely low ceilings, we'll play international rules with ceiling immediately out of bounds. Ensing is just ripping these serves right now. There's another one. Good adjustment by Siegfried. Munger out of the middle, that ball not touched by the block, maybe a little bit underset, but the connection not quite there. And you said it, Victoria. Rukkus calls a timeout. They have this open dialogue. They're not panicking. They're just figuring out what they need to do. And here they are back within one.
Absolutely.
Ensing again. Almost hit his teammate in the back of the head right there.
These teams are firing on these serves.
I wish we had the speed gun, because these would be like world-class, like truly Olympic level men's serves are sometimes in like the 75-mile-an-hour range, which is absolutely ridiculous. Some of these might be getting up close to 70, definitely in the mid-60s. That's some heat. Oh, good adjustment there by Schmitz, but just barely can't be sent over the net. Rukkus once again back within one. And here comes that weird, wicked Mark Olsen serve.
It's a hybrid topspin, it looks like. He has a two-hand toss, which is usually for a float serve. And then high snaps over the ball like he's just hitting a down ball.
The ball may have been up off the foot momentarily, but the tempo of that set from Schmitz to Siegfried is just perfect.
Great first ball side out for IMI OLA. Crisp.
And we got a service substitution here. Chris Chappelle coming on once again. This time for Race Munger, the middle blocker, to serve and play some defense. So Chappelle, the left-hander, will serve from the left sideline and play defense in position 5. Rotation 6 receive for Rukkus. Kawiakamo in the front court. Good pass there by Ensing. And Matrakos continues to just find space.
Sneaking it through the window of that block.
The vision that the Rukkus offense has, it's really a lot of it's Kawiakamo understanding where the IMI OLA block is, and he's been doing it all day so far. But Matrakos' availability as a middle attacker has been so impressive, and always in the right spots. Ace serve, Joe Kawiakamo with the jump spinner that time, and we are tied up at 12. It's 10-5. That's a 7-2 run from Rukkus after their timeout. Really nice response.
Yeah, I think they were obviously reflected a bit, and they've just been firing away at the service line. Their defense, Mark Matrakos, as a middle blocker, is aware that IMI OLA wants to get the ball to their middles.
Wow, what a pickup. All the way against the floater, Radecki. He's got to be able to be somewhat efficient in those situations. That time he was not. Incredible defense by Kawiakamo to keep it alive for Rukkus, and they take the lead. 10-5, and it was, and now it's 13-12. It's a 8-2 run. Very impressive.
Rukkus, their dig to convert is what has helped them take this lead.
100%. Very well said. Another slightly missed connection. Too easy for Rukkus, and good opportunity here for IMI OLA in transition. Good shot. Siegfried off the block and out of bounds. And yeah, you can slow teams down all you want, get those block touches, keep the ball off the floor, but exactly like you just said, their dig to terminate rate in that same possession for Rukkus has been extremely high. That time IMI OLA got a second opportunity and they took advantage. Good touch there by Siegfried. Gotta have this on the free ball. Doherty crossbody, good stab by Anastasiadis. Siegfried again, and I believe a net violation there. Yes, it was. The Rukkus block touched the net, and they All right, a little bit of a rotation one trap right now. Anastasiadis on the right, I assume, will be the primary option if they pass the ball well. Maybe Matrakos as well in the middle. Never a bad choice. Oh, misconnection. Kaliakamoa really tried to fire that one in from about the 3-meter line. Couldn't quite connect with Matrakos. And smart serving here from Jeff Schmitz. Not an aggressive server per se, but putting that float serve on Anastasiadis, and he's having trouble handling it. Good block touch again. Oh my goodness, what a stuff block. Wow, Anastasiadis thought that he had the line. And Siegfried with a very late reach to the outside to shut that down. That was an awesome late move. And a momentum-changing stuff block. IMI OLA leads once again by 3. Wexter, that ball's down. Yeah, good call. The Dawson wanted that one. I think he knows that that was a bang-bang play off his foot and then the floor. Did Michael Wexter just make that block look invisible by going straight over the top of it? Yeah, he has that effect on people. 14-16. Perfect pass. Again, a misconnection out of the middle. Man, these offenses are probably frustrating their liberos a little bit. We've talked about it for both teams. They're passing nails, and their offenses just haven't quite been able to convert at the rate that we expect.
Given that these serves are just firing on both sides, just really is a test to the passers in the serve receive.
What a dig by Como again. Wow, good blocking discipline there by Radecki. It is not easy to seal off the net and not get used by a power tip like that. That's good fundamental blocking by number 21 in red when IMI OLA really needed it. So I have a question, Victoria. Having played high-level outside hitter in your career, if you're on the left side and you're ripping into the cross court and there's a libero that just keeps keeping you off the floor over and over again, does that get in your head about maybe not going at him or her anymore?
So my bread and butter for me is high line.
Okay, so you maybe not have had that problem.
Yeah. But it is frustrating as an attacker when, you're getting dig over and over and over again. It just seems like you can't find the court. But such is the sport, right?
Absolutely.
And to have multiple tools in your tool belt, being able to hit high line or sharp cross or finesse, to the donut, the middle of the court, right?
Yep.
And off shot speed.
I brought that up because we saw, I think it was either Siegfried or Dawson, whichever, hit a straight up bomb on the left side, sharp cross court, and Como just kind of laughed at him, kept up off the floor. So, yeah, if I'm an outside and I keep banging cross, I keep getting dug, I might have to change my mind. And that last rally we saw just before that was a perfectly timed for what you were just talking about. Hitters showing every tool they had in the bag. High off the hands, line, angle, short, resets into the block. All the various different off-speed choices were on display in that rally. 18-16 IMI OLA. Doherty, a very good float server. Oh, Munger came out of nowhere. What a cover by Como. Unbelievable. Garrett Komisarek again. I don't know what else I can say at this point. We talk about difference-making liberos. Como's just putting himself on another level after all this.
Yeah, he is. He's a very talented libero and athlete, very scrappy, wears his heart on his sleeve as an athlete, and you can definitely see it on the court.
Oh, straight down stuff block by Olsen out of the middle, and we are tied. And you better believe that Como's energy and the defensive plays that he's able to make is contagious. His team really feeds off of that. And right here, it's tied. IMI OLA's been leading most of this set, but it feels like Rukkus has all the momentum, which is why IMI OLA just called this timeout.
Right, and liberos, I say this to my 12s SCBC team. When I'm talking to my girls, I let them know, my little libero, you guys, you can't score points, right? But what you can do is bring heart and attitude to the team and create that energy. You're the energy bunny out there.
That's right.
Grabbing your hitters by their jersey, saying, hey, I need you to put this ball away. I'm digging these balls for you. Now it's time for you to do your job.
I love it.
And yes, I say that in their 12.
Good, as well they should. They learn it from the youngest ages. Yeah, I have so much respect for liberos because it's the position that I understand physically the least because they make plays that just don't make any sense to me. They're crazy. Like the way that they read the game and the fearlessness and sitting at the 10-foot line ready to get blasted by a ball point blank.
Right.
And they don't care about any of that. And yeah, the role that they play on their team is just so important. And you better believe that the teams you'll see late in this bracket tomorrow are going to have elite level liberos. That is a really good swing there by Munger. The thing touched slightly by 2 Rukkus players on its way out of bounds. So very interesting here, getting towards the business end of set number 2. 1918 IMI OLA looking to level this match up at 1 set apiece. There is a big difference. I mean, this is stating the obvious, but 2-0 and 1-1 are extremely different scores. Extremely different. It's going to come down to these last couple points. That was alive momentarily, but an unbelievable serve by Radecki was absorbed and made look easy. I think it was Anastasiadis that time to pass that ball, and that's what we're talking about. The level here is really increasing as these servers continue to heat up. The passers are increasing their game.
Definitely. Point for point, it's going to be who can have the least amount of unforced errors, as I say that. Tried to hold my breath for him before I got it out. Sorry about that, Mr.
Really, the serving, like the ace to error ratios, I think have been good.
Sure,
and that's, I mean, for people who might be new to high-level men's volleyball, you're like, why do they keep serving the ball out of bounds all the time? And I agree, like nobody likes seeing that. But the trade-off is the important thing. Oh, what a play by Kawayakumoa. The trade-off is huge because if you serve the ball in all the time, but you're serving lollipops, offenses at this high of a level are going to run that down your throat. You're never going to score any points. So you have to serve tough. And with that comes a risk of sometimes missing serves. So rather than counting the number of errors to evaluate a team's service performance, a lot of times it's the ace to error ratio.
That high risk, high reward mindset.
Yes, and every server is different. Some teams have a couple of servers that they give the green light, where you can go after it in all situations. Here, BJ Hiapo coming in off the bench as a service sub, not a green light server. And Nader serving plays some defense, and a good put away there by the middle for IMI OLA as that service sub will be undone. So that's a brief, very brief summary of like elite level men's volleyball serving. It's not all about, how many service errors you can count. But if you can get the return and the aces, or at least getting the other team out of system, that's worth it. A lot of these coaches will agree. Chappelle off the bench again as a service sub. Good rip working on Ensing. And a good dig by Chappelle. Radecki through the block and down. That is a huge point on serve for IMI OLA. Really good service substitution. Chappelle hanging in there, playing some defense, and it pays dividends, 22-20.
I think that was a great set for IMI OLA there, as Rukkus middle Mark was probably committed on the outside hitter for that play.
Wow, a dunk to the floor by Kawayakumoa again. Must be nice that you can pass the ball right on the plane, and whether Kawayakumoa is front or back row, he just always makes the right play. And we make the jokes about setters being undefeated at Joust because they just seem to always be better at those plays, but Joe K especially is just really special.
Right. I mean, he scored 2 of the last 3 points for his team.
Right. Down the line, Siegfried detonates. And we just saw a defensive substitution for Rukkus before that last point. Evan La Rochelle, number 11 in black. Backup libero coming in for Eric Ensing. So no back row outside hitter, at least in terms of the offense. So you're not going to see any pipe these couple rotations for Rukkus, but their ball control and their defense will improve. Good block touch. What a dig by Suarez. Siegfried again. How on earth did he find that? And what's the line from earlier today? Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
Right.
24-21, set point IMI OLA, trapping Rukkus in rotation 1. Wexter, good dig by Siegfried. Good dig by Nadazhdin. Oh, an unfortunate net violation though against IMI OLA ends that play. Suarez can't believe it. So 1 set point saved, and actually IMI OLA is going to call timeout on this. Yeah, so 22-24. Mike Rogers not messing around. I like this timeout. You have 2 opportunities to side out. You want to make it very clear what your rotation is offensively, who your blockers are, what your options are here depending on the different passing situations, and you've got 2 opportunities to execute it. I love this timeout.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's for set point here, and I think Rukkus, as we've seen time and time again, are going to come out of this timeout punching away.
Agreed, and I mean, if you think that 24-22 is just a given that IMI OLA is going to win this set, then you must not have seen some of the comebacks we've already seen today. We had a 24-19 comeback made earlier today, which was unbelievable. So this set is not over yet, and IMI OLA knows it. That's why they took that timeout. Very smart. Especially with a server as dangerous as James Anastasiades and having to receive in rotation 1. Huge play right here. Set point IMI OLA. And foot fault is the call. Wow, Anastasiades put a good serve in play, but put his toe on the service line while doing so. And that is how IMI OLA gets on the board in this match. Not the way I expected.
All right, 1 set apiece here. As we switch sides, still anybody's match. Both teams, IMI OLA and Rukkus, going after it. Middles are involved. Setters are being aggressive. What is it going to take for one of these teams to pull out this win?
What more could you ask for? We are. We should be. I'm going to go make that point right now because she's right about the substitution. 1 second.
The 4 at the top, that's the thing that slides out. The one at the bottom is resetting. You figure out how to do it. Yeah. We'll probably hide the whole thing. And then change it.
Yeah, which way? Okay.
You'll be in the camera a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You're
can we?
looking over to the side and
It's okay.
It makes it look better.
It's okay.
More right here.
And I'm like, hello, I'm over here.
Then you have,
I can't turn this, huh? Can I just go like this?
That actually would be the thing to do. See how he reacts to that.
Can we go? They're asking about this camera, like scoot it over because I'm like, hello. Yes. Yay.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, that's much better.
Oh, hello.
Beautiful. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think this match is just starting to get a little bit spicy because Christy Onamura just came and talked to us about substitution rules, and she manages both of these teams, which is just such an interesting dynamic. But the fact that she's like worried about a substitution rule tells me how competitive she is and how important this match is for. I mean, there's not really any other way to say this. Rukkus is the A team and IMI OLA is the B team in this particular organization. That is the way that they have their organization structured. So Christy, who manages both of them, she wants Rukkus to win this tournament. That's what they were put together to do. And if they lose to their B team, that would be quite the storyline. So
sure.
The impact of the match and the importance and the stakes are becoming more and more clear as we continue to play on. It's getting really interesting.
I mean, she has bread in both baskets, right?
Absolutely.
I think that she just wants to have good, disciplined, statted volleyball and have no mishaps.
Right. No funny business. And it's funny because you can see her, she's sitting by the scores table, like right on the net. She's totally not on either one side or the other. It's fascinating. I wonder
she's
where,
almost the second down ref over there.
Yeah, and I'm sure she's making her voice heard over there. Be curious to see what's going on inside her head with both of her teams playing. It's kind of like choosing a favorite kid, you know? You just can't do it, so. Christie's two children, Rukkus and IMI OLA, are tied up at 1 set apiece, and here we are with set number 3. Oh, what a scoop by Como, but unable to be kept alive. Quick scan for any lineup changes, and I do not see any. So Jeff Schmitz remains in at the setter for IMI OLA, and no changes that I can see right now for Rukkus. That is very close, but I think correctly called out of bounds.
Big time server, back to serve for Rukkus.
I mean, most of James's career at Hawaii, and he's a really good all-around player, but most of his minutes were spent as a service sub for that team. So serving, always has been one of the most important parts of his game. That is such good out-of-system offense. Just throwing the ball almost as high as you can to the ceiling and letting your hit on both the dig and the second contact. Just letting your hitter have a chance. We were talking about that earlier. You made the point that, I can't remember which team it was, but you wanted to see them err on the side of having the ball be too high. And I think that's a great example of why that works right there. So like you as an outside hitter, for example, when the ball's dug to 25 feet off the net, you're not expecting an antenna height ball. You want as much time as you can have.
Right. It's about lifting the ball and having that apex so we can step close to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the apex, you honestly have a 4-foot window. If there's an apex, you can step close to everything. Almost anything.
And one interesting thing I started to notice this summer watching the men's international game, like the Team USA in particular, their strategy on high balls to the left side was to intentionally leave them inside. They did that so that a triple block would come and usually overrun it to the outside, and the hitter could either find some space inside the block cross court or challenge the inside hand of the furthest inside blocker. So I thought that was an interesting development, that they were doing that tactically on purpose to leave their out-of-system sets inside and just letting their outsides go up and challenge the blocks. And even James was talking to us about that earlier, because he had a ball that was a little bit inside, sky high, and he was able to find a really sharp angle inside the block. So maybe these teams are working on that same thing without even knowing it. Three serving four, excuse me, IMI OLA on the far side of your screen, with who's been their most dangerous server so far, Kyle Radecki, back at the line. Really good pass by Como. Easy tip by Wexler. This should be rammed into the floor. Off of Como, and just honest outside, it just runs out of space. So IMI OLA does take advantage of what was a pretty easy opportunity, a tip over the block right to the middle back defender, and got to make their jobs a little more difficult than that. Here's Radecki again. Good pass. Oh my goodness, that ball's kept alive. That was crazy. Olsen, though, mercilessly puts it away out of the middle.
I love finding them.
What
finding
body
the middle
parts
there.
did that hit? What body part? What happened? I don't know.
A foot, an elbow. I love them running the middle on that transition play.
Agreed.
That is a high-level play, not to just throw it to a pin, but truly find your middle, working hard in transition.
And impressive for Rukkus to play to the whistle, like they didn't just assume that ball was going to be down. Oh, what a set by Suarez. Ooh, Radecki tried to pull it down the line out of the back row, and he missed it just too short, and you can see Como there just standing waiting for him. Six serving four. That is just barely out of bounds, and I think I'm starting to see with Michael Wexler in particular, I mean, we know how threatening he is as a jump server. His float serve is good, but if this were a championship match, he'd be jump spin serving. I think he's saving himself a little bit, and the fatigue is definitely starting to become a factor.
IMI OLA was on that dump and able to convert to give them that point, making it 6s on the board.
That is a rare play to dig a Joe Kawiakamoa setter dump. I don't know if we've seen one all day so far.
I don't think so.
Yeah, nice read. I mean, they've seen it score enough times. Maybe it's about time they be ready for it.
But see, it's those mindful plays, knowing that that conversion, dig to convert, was a big momentum play. You have to keep that ball in. You have to serve it over the net. Miss long, not into the net.
Agreed.
High contact out in front, flat, drive that ball.
7 serving 6. That is not going to be able to be run down. Man, Eric Ensing is putting some wicked side spin on some of these jump serves. That one off of Suarez, and Siegfried runs out of room by the back wall. Rukkus leads 8-6. Another good rib, this time a good move by Suarez to adjust off the tape. Siegfried, sharp cross court, missed it out of bounds. I think that was off the tape, but not any Rukkus blockers. So Rukkus continues to open up their lead here in the third set, tied up at 1-all. That is a crazy serve from Ensing, it's unbelievable. Como making that play look easy, and Olsen available in transition. You can't say enough about how beautiful that piece of transition offense is. If that middle attack can be run at that speed on that transition play, it's just unstoppable. Olsen was up so fast. He had just been up as a blocker. I don't even know how he got over there so quickly. It's crazy.
Oh.
Whoops.
He said, tag, you're it. Just making sure he's awake out there.
Yeah, good morning.
Checking in. Gave him a thumbs up, letting him know he is still awake.
We'll have to put James in concussion protocol after that one. Just saw the replay on YouTube just after it happened live. That looked hilarious. I love that play. Good block there by Doherty. Another good block by Doherty, and this one to the floor. And that's a really interesting one-on-one matchup because both Connor Doherty and Mark Olsen were teammates the last several years for the Phoenix Ascension. So those two dudes do it in battle one-on-one. I don't know if they've ever really played against one another before, so that's kind of fun to watch. Another good read on the center dump. But unfortunately, Olsen there to block Doherty in return on the second contact, so that's pretty fun. Some middle versus middle one-on-one battles. I love to see it. Here comes BJ Halpo's service sub. Backup setter, the cousin of Joe Kawiakamoa. Both played at BYU. Good dig by Suarez, but unfortunately into one of the crossbars of the ceiling. And these are not low ceilings. That ball is up in the stratosphere.
Well, didn't you guys play at a football stadium last year?
We did, and as a matter of fact, we will be there again in a couple weeks. We'll be in State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, the home of the Arizona Cardinals. And if you want to talk about high ceilings, that ball's stuffed by Matrakos on the right side, right on the end line. Yeah, definitely tune into that. I think that's Friday, February 18th. Sounds about right, when we'll be the first of 2 days in Phoenix. Yeah, playing volleyball at a football stadium, very unique. And yeah, sight lines crazy, ceilings infinitely high. That'll be very fun. Great point. I'm glad you brought that up. Another one! No way. I've never seen a setter get away with 2 of those in one match. A two-handed, like literal set over the net to the deep corner, position 5. Like, what are we talking about here? And the confidence to pull that off twice in a row. It's incredible. 14 serving 8. Doherty dunked to the floor cross body. So when I was in college and we were being, so I was a middle in college, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry.
Middle is the thankless
Yes.
position.
Yes.
We were taught offensively, if you can have 4 shots as a middle, you're pretty much unstoppable. If you have the tees to both sides, so right on the sideline, both right and left, at about 3 meters, and then you have both deep corners. So if you can go deep 5 or deep 1, if you have all 4 of those shots, you're gonna be a pretty good middle attacker. So, and you don't even have to like traditionally spike those balls, which is what brought it up for me, because Doherty kind of crossbody tipped that one straight to the floor. If you can have all 4 of those shots, no matter how it gets done, you're gonna be hard to block. That was an attempted roll shot by Radecki that almost didn't even get to the bottom tape. That was badly miscalculated. And I think now Eric Jansen, number 23 in black, backup opposite for Rukkus, is going to come in now as they have a pretty comfortable lead at 6 points to give Michael Wexter a break. I can tell that his legs are feeling it for sure. So Jansen in, number 23 in black, the opposite out of Grand Canyon. He'll get an opportunity here on the left side in rotation 1. Good block touch to slow it down. Nadazdim, deep cross court, and even Como can't make that defensive play. That is a really good piece of transition offense from IMI OLA.
So Rob, you talk about Rukkus having a deep roster. As we can see, the setting position is doing just fine. But, you know, if they were to run a 6-2, how would that look?
So their backup setter is BJ Hiapo, who's Joe K's cousin, like we just talked about. In this set, that wouldn't be an option because BJ already came in as a service sub. He couldn't go in somewhere else.
Right.
But there's no reason why they couldn't run it, like bring in a backup setter, backup opposite for 3 rotations to keep a bigger front row blocking lineup. The reason why I don't think they'll do that is because Joe Kawiakamoa is such an unbelievable blocker. So you don't lose anything in that area with him in the front row. Crush down the line by Nadazdim. Oh, no, I don't think I agree with that call. Well, okay, net violation is the call. That I do agree with.
Yes.
Somebody was in the net. I thought the antenna was the call initially, so very good officiating there. They got it right even before I could recognize it. 18 serving 11. Anastasiadis trying to put the nail in the coffin right here. Not this time.
So Rob, what is a short-term goal for the VLA?
Great question. Pull off a great season in 2022 is a great short-term goal for us. The pandemic has affected everything that the league has done since its existence. Like very late 2019, the league was born. And immediately, the pandemic hitting in March of 2020 affected both of our first 2 seasons. We played literally 1 tournament in 2020, an abbreviated season 2021, so pulling off a full season the way we want to would be a huge step in the right direction for the VLA. And we've got that schedule ready to go. That's a huge block from Olsen. So we will be literally all over the country with 2 regular season events per Tier 1 division, 4 total cup-style tournaments, this being the first one of those, and then a championships tournament for both Tier 1 and Tier 2. That is a full schedule, and a lot of great volleyball to be played on the way. So if and when we can pull that off, that will be a very satisfying box to check for the VLA, having it not be affected by the pandemic to the extent that it has in the last couple of years. So that's a goal for us, definitely a goal for me, because I'm going to be at every one of these events.
Right.
And then looking down the line as the league continues to grow and expand, the interest is just so high. The number of Tier 2 teams is unbelievable, like pushing 20 right now, which is incredible.
That's great.
Right, and teams will continue to fight to try and get promoted, and the storylines will develop year over year. Already this weekend, we're taking a great step in our ability to broadcast games, so...
Can we talk about that back set really
That was
fast?
silky.
Silky smooth from James.
All Rukkus here in the third, which is why we have some time to talk about league structure, because the lead right now is 10, 22-12. Radecki off the outside edge of the block and out of bounds. And I'm very curious to see as we get into set number 4 what these 2 teams do. Does Rukkus gamble, go to their bench, give a couple guys some rest, even given the importance of this match? Conversely, does IMI OLA bring any guys off the bench, try and force a 5th set? is what I'm very interested to see coming up in the next couple minutes, because I think this set 3 is just a formality at this point, and there's another one on the board for Rukkus in the servicing. What do you think if you were Coach Victoria Dennis? Let's say you're IMI OLA and you go down 2-1 against a team that's this talented. What areas do you think you can change? What do you think that going to the bench could maybe bring you?
I think just a different outlook for the players. You know, sometimes your best hitter or your best blocker is just having an off day, and that's fine. Everyone's human, and sometimes they just need to be checked, right? Like checked in your place. Your spot is not just given to you. You have to earn it and you have to sustain it. And I think sometimes being lackadaisical as talented athletes. What a high contact swing, put away.
Gorgeous. Still set points for Rukkus, but yeah, I agree.
I would switch up the lineup, yes, for IMI OLA.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
agree too.
Why not?
Why not? What do you have to lose? Yeah, you bring in a different look. Maybe it affects the way Rukkus behaves in a couple certain rotations. And now that is the question for IMI OLA coach Mike Rogers, as what was now formality, what was a formality is now official. 25-14 the set, 3 score. Rukkus leads 2-1, and we are back, Victoria and I, in the timeout. So yeah, we just talked about what we kind of can expect going into set number 4. IMI OLA backs against the wall. If they lose this match, they are eliminated, and all they'll do tomorrow is play a consolation match, which is what nobody wants.
Right, and hey, IMI OLA has nothing to lose here. I would like to see maybe a couple lineup changes. Why not? Might bring a little bit of momentum, different feel on the court, different look on the court, and that changes what Rukkus is looking at from their side of the net too.
Totally agree. Yeah, just a little bit of a spark off the bench can ignite a little bit of energy that in your fuel reserves in the tank that you might not have known you had. And we will see what the coaches choose to do here. Court number 2, by the way, is still in some heated action in the other quarterfinal active right now. Sport Connects out of San Francisco playing against the New York Pride right now. That is a 4 seed versus 5 seed effectively matched up together in the quarterfinals. If you want to watch that and you want to watch every match that was both streamed today and will be live all day tomorrow, definitely consider becoming a member of the YouTube channel. So to do that, there's a big red button that says subscribe. You should already press that already. That's free. But to watch every match, there's a button next to subscribe that says join. If you hit join, and you can fork over the high cost of 99 cents, you can get every match of volleyball all weekend long. And I don't even know what the number of matches is. It's pushing like 20. It's a crazy number. So if you want to watch Sport Connects versus New York Pride right now, if you want to watch the other matches from today that weren't streamed publicly, throw us 99 cents and we can do that for you. We like to think that's a pretty good value.
I agree. Enough bang for your buck. It gives you 12 plus hours of volleyball.
Yes. And if this weekend wasn't packed enough with sports already, with NFL Conference Championships coming up tomorrow, we're excited to be a part of the American landscape of sports this weekend. I expect tomorrow's finals to be electric, and depending on the calendar, we'll see if we can't find the little bit of space when people aren't dominated by football in their minds.
It's called multitasking, Rob. We have a plethora of screens at our expense now.
That's right.
Multitasking.
You
have
have 2 screens,
the football game, you have the Rams and the 49ers up, and then you have the VLA next to them.
That's what we want to see. Let us know in the YouTube chat right now if you're watching this game. We're looking at the YouTube chat. Let us know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from. Good block touch there to slow it down as we start set number 4. And I, so far, Victoria, do not see any lineup changes for either team. However, Eric Jansen is staying in at the opposite for Rukkus. But IMI OLA looks to be the same so far, unless they're changing out one of their middles. Good block there by Anastasiadis. 1-on-1, shutting down Ethan Siegfried. And those two guys, I'm sure, have a little bit of a rivalry going back to the great duels between Hawaii and Long Beach State. And those two teams were vying for national championships 3 or 4 years ago. So maybe those guys will have some trash talk over some beers later tonight about that particular play. Radecki tried to get the fingertips of the block and did not. Good start here for Rukkus, 3-0, and IMI OLA got to be very, very careful. They cannot let this thing slip away. That's an ace serve.
Jeez. Could you ask for a more slick and aerodynamic float serve?
You could read the Mikasa on that ball the entire way towards our main camera, and that ball never moved from directly above the sideline the whole time. That is so hard to pass that ball.
And that's why float serves are harder to pass than topspin at times, because the ball literally floats and then drops.
It's like trying to hit a knuckleball in baseball.
Sure.
It's so nasty.
Exactly.
That was almost another one. And IMI OLA definitely breathes a sigh of relief as that was missed long. I'm curious if we're going to see Kevin Vaz. You can kind of see him doing some goofy little dances on the bench. Maybe that's to get his team into it, but maybe that's to get himself warmed to maybe come in here. That is crushed on the right side by Anastasiades through the block and down cross court. I never knew James was so good in rotation 1. He's been awesome on the right side.
He has. He really, his bread and butter is that line swing, but sharp cross as well.
Especially with the ball a little bit outside of his shoulder like that last one, able to get to the outside of it and sling it sharp back into the court. It's a pretty cool swing. Oh my goodness. Now, is that a ball that you, if you're a middle, you probably just shouldn't even block?
It's just awkward. It's just extremely awkward for everyone.
Now, unfortunately,
but it happens.
Yes.
We've all been there, Rob.
Yes,
we
yes,
have all been there.
I sure have. I was about to make a joke about middles at my own expense because there's a stereotype out there about middles that I don't want to substantiate.
But it's like, but why? Like, they're the ones that really have to work the entire time.
Right. So that right there, I think, was the first instance of a legitimate in-system pipe attack that we've seen from either team in this match, and that is really surprising to me. That time the connection not quite there to Siegfried. Maybe that's why, because the setters just aren't that comfortable with the guys. But that is such an important part of high-level men's offenses that I'm shocked that we haven't seen it more than that.
Substitution for IMI OLA.
Hey, here it is. So Kevin Vaz into the front court, number 27 in red, started his career at Cal Baptist, then finished at Pepperdine. But interestingly, there's no recognized setter on the court right now for IMI OLA, and I think I understand why. Well, unfortunately, the reason why I was going to bring up just served that ball right into the net. It's kind of a delayed 6-2, so they bring in the opposite first to have some front row blocking, but they had a really good server back in the line, so they'll sacrifice not having a setter in transition for some service pressure. But now after that rotation is over, they bring in the other setter. So David Grandy now, number 1 in red, who started the match as setter for IMI OLA, will be the setter, and Kevin Vaz the opposite. We'll see how long they stay in.
And if you want some funky, fun energy, Grandy is your guy.
Absolutely. Jansen off the block and out of bounds on the right side. Ensign going for a pretty crazy angle down the sideline. That one's not going to work there. So rotation 5 received here for Rukkus. Let's see how long it takes for Kevin Vaz to have an impact on this match. Jansen out of the back row through a very small seam in the block. And Dazden can't make the defensive play fast enough. Victoria, tell me about being a player coming off the bench. That is not an easy thing to do. Keeping yourself mentally engaged, physically warm,
right,
and then thrust into a situation where you might have to touch the ball literally the first play. That ball tagged off Jansen and then repeated smartly. Okay, we'll get to that after this crazy play. The Dazden out of the back row finally able to put it away. So that play was crazy, but tell me what it's like coming off the bench. What's your role? What's your mindset?
Yeah, I have a very vivid memory of my freshman year at UCI. We were playing Hawaii, and I came in as a blocking sub in the 5th set.
Ooh.
13-13.
Ooh.
And first time stepping onto the court. And my coach, Paula Weishaupt, goes, "Victoria!" And I'm like, "What?" And then I just run onto the court. I ended up stuff housing there outside and then subbed right back out. I did my job. And
that is an awesome story.
Yeah. It is a little hard to come off the bench, but you know that there is a chance and the opportunity of you to go in and play, and when you do go in, like any other athlete, you know what your role is on the court.
And you've got to take advantage while you've got it.
Okay.
Opportunity here in transition for Rukkus. Jensen on the right side. What a dig by Vaz. Oh, Nadazhdin just not quite deep enough in his defensive positioning to run that ball down. Kevin Vaz, a French native, came over when he was, I believe, in middle school, maybe high school, moved to Florida, then came to California for university to play volleyball. Really cool story. Vaz is full of great stories if you get to talk to him sometime. Oh, kick cover by Doherty. That is a kick cover into a point. I mean, what else could you ask for? An everyday standard play here in the VLA.
It's Grandy's facing the opposite side, bump, swipe set to the outside.
Casual.
For me,
So we've just received word that the Court 2 match is over, and San Francisco's Sport Connects have swept the New York Pride to advance to the semifinals. So Sport Connects, who played a really good match against this Rukkus team earlier today, they are the first team into the semis. That is very nice for them after surviving a crazy 3-match day. They only might have to play 2 tomorrow. Rukkus looking to do the exact same thing. Vaz hammering off the high part of the block and out of bounds. That's what you get from bringing a guy like Vaz off the bench. That is no holds barred. He hit that ball as hard as he physically possibly could. Why not? So this now here, the IMI OLA versus Rukkus battle, the only match remaining for the day. We will be done after this. Petracos blocked by Munger but kept alive. Ensing, sharp cross court, not touched by the block. I totally agree with that call. I think that was tape only, not the hands, but those are tough plays to call.
IMI OLA looking for a little bit of a serving run.
They could use one. They trail by 4, 9-13. Good float serve there from Doherty. Jansen slowed down by the block. Nadazhdin, high hands, good blocking from both teams here. Jansen. I can't believe he hit that ball like wrist away down the line. The confidence to do that. That could have been a disaster. But he got a good deflection off the block and he scores out of system. That's a nice high-level opposite play.
Yeah, these high swings off the block are awesome to see and are very critical at this point in the day.
Yes, they are.
As fatigue really does start to set in.
Nadazhdin, what a dig by Anastasiadis in position 5 for some reason. And then the roll shot. Eric Ensing with a beautiful off-speed choice, and that was terrific defense there. So interesting there for Rukkus, you see with the middle blockers serving Petracos, they put him in defense in position 6, in middle back. They slide over Anastasiadis into the normal libero spot, and it paid off right there. Good pass there from Suarez. Nadazhdin straight over the top of the block. And there is no answer for that. That's 2 6'7" guys right in front of him, but Nadazhdin high pointed that ball. You could have set it on a plate on top of the antenna, and he would have gone up and got it no problem. What a bomb out of the middle from Olsen. Again, you see that separation generated from the Rukkus, like that quick gap set in the middle that they run offensively, right in between the 2 blockers. It makes the IMI OLA middle blocker's job so hard, because if he has a chance to slow it down, he has to front him completely. And if he does that, one-on-ones on both pins.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yep. $11 serving 16. The Dosden's got to dig deep here on his serve to get his team back into this thing. Good block there by Munger, but an even better cover. 2 blocks in a row! Grace Munger, a late pickup for this IMI OLA team, is still able to bring that level of energy with those 2 stuff blocks in a row. Could that be the little bit of a momentum shift that IMI OLA needs? And seeing blocked by Vaz. Good discipline there by number 27 in red, who spent a lot of his career at middle blocker. So when you put a middle on the right side, you get a automatic blocking boost no matter what. Good discipline there. And we got a ball game all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen. 13-16. Oh, man. That is a momentum stopper.
Big time. I just want to mic up Grandy and put a GoPro on his forehead. He's just so entertaining. I can watch him the entire time.
Yeah, I love him. His body language is awesome. He's like, yeah, Grandy's goofy little antics in between points. Yeah, he's so much fun to watch. He's you may or may not be able to tell on the camera. We can see it clearly. He's wearing sweatpants underneath his shorts. How funny is that?
I was going to point that out earlier, but I'm absolutely here for it. It's the sweatpants under the shorts for me, Grandy. It's a Grandy vibe. We're all here for it. It brings morale high.
Chappelle off the bench to serve another front row center play won by Kau Yakamoa, and IMI OLA cannot believe that he's not called for reaching over the net there. I lost track long ago of how many points that Kau Yakamoa has scored as a front row center. He's definitely into double digits, and it is crazy to say that for a front court center in a 4-set match. Good pass there by Suarez. Connection not quite there on the Bic. Anastasiades initiates the joust. Wow, meet me at the top and don't be late. Anastasiades and Vaz doing battle at about 11 feet.
It always seems like the shorter person in the duel is going to get the joust. But it's the second one who touches the ball.
That's right.
Whoever touches the ball second is going to win the joust.
Jousting 101, kids. Take notes. I think that might have been a field goal. I know NFL's tomorrow. Yeah. I think that was right in between the uprights that are Mark Matrakos' arms. And so now the original setter opposite combo comes back in for IMI OLA. So Schmitz, the backcourt setter, Radecki, the front court opposite. Grandy, all smiles, all celebrations. A good trip through the backcourt for him. Oh my goodness. What more can you say? That's a tooth-crunching kill from a setter.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
I'm yours, says Joe Kau Yakamoa to his cousin, BJ Hiapa, who comes in for him as a 1-for-1 setter substitution. So now it's 20-15. Rukkus looking to end this match in 4 with a different setter on the floor. What a dig. Como again. Radecki with the left hand. Anastasiades, sharp cross court, dug by Radecki again. Como into the ceiling this time. It's really just about the only thing that can stop Como from digging a ball. 16 serving 20, excuse me. This is not over yet. Rukkus needs to keep their side-out efficiency high, even after taking Kau Yakamoa off the floor. And not that time. Ethan Siegfried with the ace serve. Serving 20.
There's going to need to be a little bit of extra communication having 2 liberos out on the court.
Oh, they bring in La Rochelle again? Yes, they did. Okay. Yeah, we saw that in the last match that Rukkus played. That is a net violation. What's James doing over there? Like baiting a hook in a fish's mouth, as in fishing him into the net there?
Yeah.
I love that. So La Rochelle promptly back to the bench, Ensing to the front court. And James going with the float serve here, working on Nadazden's hands. High, good block touch to slow it down. Jansen, dug by Siegfried. Nadazden again, dug by Anastasiadis. Ensing! Wow, Victoria, you made a point, I don't know, earlier in this set, maybe even last set, about all the different tools in the toolbox, and you talked about the roll shot to the donut. What's the donut, and why was that so perfect just now?
So the donut is the middle of the court, and it's usually open, like a normal donut hole. And it's the high finesse over the block, finding that very, very center of the court to ever so gracefully place the ball.
And right there in a rally where as a rally goes on longer and the defense for a team starts to drift further towards the sidelines, that hole of that donut opens up even more. That's why I love that choice from Ensing. (22-17). IMI OLA needs a miracle. Nadazden sharp cross court, missed it out of bounds. Not very good hand contact. And that was the last thing that IMI OLA could afford. Now 23-17. Tight pass. What a set from Schmitz. But has to be sent over as a free ball. Matrakos, beautiful dig by Suarez. Matrakos again, blocked by Doherty, but kept alive. Chest dig! What did we just see? But hit out of bounds by Nadazden. Did CJ Suarez just fully throw his chest at that ball?
Yes, he did.
What was that?
And he's staring down Mark with a smile on his face.
Anyway, it's match point Rukkus, but that defensive play was so unbelievable, we just had to talk about it. That ball flailed out of bounds. But now 18-24, IMI OLA needs a miracle. Rukkus looking very, very good to advance into the second, as our second team into the semifinals of this tournament. One side out, and that's what they've got. Ensing, stuffed by Munger, but it is not over yet.
He's been very dynamic in the middle all night. Really, really doing well at closing the block.
Agreed. I like his handwork too. He's
right.
doing really good things. He's 6'8". He's got really long arms. He's doing a nice bit of reaching into the seam there. Jansen for the match, deep cross court, and that is it. Rukkus made it pretty interesting there in the second set, dropping one to IMI OLA, and they're I mean, you can't help but call them their B team in the same management network that program runs, but the reigning VLA Cup champions have advanced to the semifinals. They are very much still alive to win this tournament, and they will have a slightly easier path tomorrow.
Oh,
my goodness.
And they just really let us know
Party
to
time.
get on out. You've been here long enough.
That is hilarious.
Very subtle way to say a tournament is over.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric, for the
well,
light.
if they,
there
it is. Rob,
so
before
funny.
we go, who would you like to hear from in this postgame?
Great call. Yeah, I'll do a little bit of a wrap up. I'll let you be the judge. Go grab one of the guys who wants to give us some of their thoughts, and we'll get an interview before we wrap
Dealer's
up for the
choice.
night.
You go. Tell me.
Give me Como. That'll be fun. While Victoria goes to set up that interview, I will wrap things up right here. Thank you all so much for watching. What a fun match it was. What a fun day it's been. The level of volleyball incredibly high and only continuing to get even higher. So a lot more volleyball coming up tomorrow. If you want to see every single match, hit that join button on the YouTube channel to join the YouTube channel as a member. That will cost you 99 entire cents. And you can watch every match. More quarterfinals coming tomorrow, semifinals and finals tomorrow. And here we are with Victoria interviewing the victorious libero, Garrett Como. Rukkus wins 3-1. Let's hear from number 21.
Alrighty, everyone. Great match, Garrett. Solidifying your spot in the semifinals tomorrow. Defense was a crucial part of this game. What is your mindset like coming into the tournament playoffs semifinals tomorrow?
Just take care of our side of the ball every single person on our team has the mentality of no ball drops, so put everything out on the court every point, and hopefully it pays out.
It's very prevalent that you put everything out on the court. You wear your heart on your sleeve as a player. What is something that fires up your team in the huddle? What gets them going out of the dialogue from you?
Every single person knows they just got to take care of their own job. We all trust each other to do that, and when we execute, it works.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.